Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, fellow writers, I am thrilled to receive this first place award in the TWA Writing Contest in the nonfiction category. My affiliation with TWA goes back to the early 80s, back when this organization was just getting off the ground and met in the auditorium of the John F. Germany Public Library. I was pulled in so many different directions back then, I didn't have time to take writing seriously. I dropped out after a few years. But I always knew that TWA would be there when I was ready to return. I rejoined in the summer of 2010 when I retired. Suddenly, I had the time, the energy, and the freedom from distraction to take writing a little more seriously. After a couple of months of membership, I checked out the TWA critique group. My initial submissions to this critique group were humbling, to say the least. I was so naive, I didn't know what a bad writer I was. There was one member in that group particularly, John Tate, who was unrelenting in his criticism of my work. I wanted to write a book, a big emotional memoir, chronicling the parenting of an adopted child that came to a tragic end. My words gushed with angst, anger, sadness. John told me I didn't have the skills to write that book. He told me I needed to go home and learn how to write before I tackled a project with that kind of magnitude. The turning point came during a critique group meeting one night when John challenged me to go home and write a story about a ballpoint pen. A ballpoint pen. So angry I could spit nails, I went home, I sat down and I wrote a story about a ballpoint pen. And I learned that John Tate was right. I didn't know how to write. I began to take that critique group a lot more seriously. I studied what those excellent writers did. I paid attention to feedback that was being given to the other writers. I started reading books on the writing craft. I signed up for a couple of classes. Mainly, I kept writing, practicing. Gradually, my writing began to improve. The story I submitted for this contest was a story about my son, about an incident that occurred when he was 12 years old, when he got his first felony arrest. I was the one who wrestled him into the car and hauled him down to the sheriff's substation about 12 o'clock one night. I'd been in his bedroom, cleaning out his closet, which was 3 feet deep with the detritus of a pre-adolescent male. Sweaty, smelly athletic socks, dirty underwear, candy wrappers, undone homework, outgrown sneakers, you name it. And buried in that pile, I found a woman's pocketbook. I knew immediately he had stolen it. It was a gut-wrenching night for me. Not so much learning that my son was a thief and that here he had gotten a felony arrest at 12 years of age, as much as it was seeing his reaction to this. For him, it was like a rite of passage. He gloated. He had finally crossed that line and become one of the big bad boys that he so longed to be. I felt like I had just tossed Burr Rabbit out into the briar patch. The story ends the next morning when my son bounces off to school, a big grin on his face. He can hardly wait to get to the bus stop to tell his friends about his exciting adventure of being arrested and going to the Juvenile Assessment Center. I stayed home from work that day, went into his bedroom, and finished cleaning his closet. Because in my heart, he was still my beautiful little boy. The timing of this award blows me away. My son died of a drug overdose on April the 4th, 2009. On April the 4th, 2012, I am suddenly receiving a writing award for a story that I wrote about him. My universe, I believe, speaks to me. And I believe it tells me that I need to keep writing these stories. Thank you, TWA, and especially the critique group and John Tate. You believed in me, you encouraged me, supported me, and you helped me become a better writer. I also thank my universe for having given me this most abnormal parenthood that leaves me with stories to tell. Receiving this award is like being handed a big, tall, ice-cold, refreshing glass of sweet lemonade on a hot summer's day. Thank you for this recognition, Madam Toastmaster.